Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bottom Line with Ronnie and Byron. I'm Ronnie,
And I'm Byron.
and today we have a lot to talk. Jackson County Hospital being upset with officials from the city of Marianna as well as Jackson County.
Also in national news, we're going to talk about Dylan Roof, the racist mass killer appeals his death sentence. We're also going to get into the calling code red on the climate. President Biden pushes for infrastructure plan.
And then we'll switch over to sports. We'll cover high school sports, the games that are coming up tonight, as well as college football that's coming up this weekend.
And in entertainment, Tom Selleck has a big controversy over his take on Twitter, and people kind of took to it. Also, suspected drug overdose for Michael K. Williams, played the part of Omar on The Wire. So we'll get into that as well.
And then for relationship team, we'll talk about sibling rivalry. So stay tuned. Jackson Hospital is unhappy with officials from the city of Marianna as well as Jackson County. Reason being, there's a project called Skeleton. It is a project that is basically under confidentiality under the Florida statute that's being worked on by the city of Marianna, Jackson County, and the Jackson County Economic Development Council.
So this the skeleton. I saw the piece on I think it was Channel 13. So is it a hiccup between what they want to do and a tie with the county and the city, or
No,
what's the
well, here's the deal. So, whenever they have these projects pop up, they can't disclose what the project is. So nobody knows the name of the project. Nobody knows what type of company it is. So they give it this code name. In this particular instance, it's called the Project Skeleton. And however, Jackson County Hospital has gotten wind of it possibly being a outpatient surgery center. And so
mm,
they're upset because their plans are to build an outpatient, or I should say, use Dolson property, which is the old elementary school, to build a outpatient surgery themselves. So they see it as a conflict of interest, and they don't understand why the city and the county and JCDC will be in competition, knowing that they have plans for an outpatient surgery. Now, I will say again, city, the county, or the JCDC have not stated what type of business it is, nor have they stated the name of the project, the name of the
so
business.
so this is the old Golson School, correct?
Right there, yeah, the Jackson Hospital is going to make Dolson property an outpatient surgery center. So they don't want anybody else coming in with the same idea. They don't want the competition.
Hmm.
That's the bottom line.
I
So what's
that's
wrong
a
with
good argument.
competition?
Yeah, that's a
Well, what's wrong with competition? What's
yeah.
wrong with competition?
Yeah, nothing wrong with it. They, you know, I understand both sides. I definitely understand where the Jackson Hospital is coming from. But hey, you gotta, competition gotta step up your game. So may the
Well,
best
we'll see
win.
what happens. Yeah, at the city commission meeting, an MOU, which is a memorandum of understanding, was supposed to be approved at the city commission meeting for the city of Marianna regarding the project. However, the city commissioners tabled um, this because they said they needed more information on the company. As
Mm.
a result of the Jackson County Hospital representative speaking at the city commission meeting on Tuesday night, the commissioners tabled this issue for now until they got more
Mm.
information. There you have it. So that's that. And then I also wanted to let people know there's a new Dollar General coming to the city of Marianna. Yeah, another one,
Woo-hoo.
the fourth one. This one will be located on South Street and Jefferson Street. So if you're going down Jefferson Street and you get to McCoy's and you get to South Street, just look to your left. There's an open area there, and that's where it's going to be built. Yeah, a fourth Dollar General will be
Yeah,
there.
yeah, and see, and that's a business model or strategy of Dollar General. They've been able to say, okay, well, Walmart is moving towards the interstates and the main highways, the main, we're gonna get everything in between. Every small town area, we're gonna hit every nook and cranny so that people will go there to get the detergents, the toothbrushes, the minimums and the perishable items, and not want to go to Walmart. So yeah, that's another
Well,
Dollar General.
well, it's not that far from the one that's on Lafayette, though.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, when you look at, I mean, where I live, you got one in Delwood, you got one in Greenwood. Um, yeah, I mean, you got one in what every 15, 10-minute radius. So, and then
well,
there's one in Grand Ridge.
it's even closer. I mean, here and this is on the West End, which is good. And speaking of the West End, I failed to mention earlier, the Project Skeleton is going to be on the West End, and it's going to be like a $6 million to $8 million project. Um,
That's
so
good.
that's the other factor that's in that controversy of it's going to be on the West End, and the facility or whatever it's going to be will supposedly help build up West End. So there you go.
That's needed
But
though.
yeah, the
That's
Dollar
needed.
General will be on West. Yeah. So the Dollar General will be on West End. And then the other thing I want to talk about is the Vanity Fair building. So we all know that Vanity Fair closed last December. They closed on Christmas Eve.
Hmm.
Well, the building has been purchased by a company called McNeil Technologies, and they're currently in Bonifay, and they're relocating to the Vanity Fair building in Graceville. And they
Hmm.
deal with, I can't really explain it, but they deal with optics where you don't have to dig the ground to put water lines and stuff like that in it. You probably understand it better than me. But they're a successful company out of Bonifay. They do have Graceville ties. I think the mother of the son lives in Graceville. She used to teach at Graceville High School. I think her maiden name was Weatherton at that time. But the good thing is they have local ties because I think that was the complaint about the former owner of that building. He didn't have any local ties, therefore it seemed like he didn't really have a care about what happened to the building and how it affected the community. So
Hmm.
it's a good thing for the city of Graceville as well as Jackson County. So yeah, the Vanderbilt Fair building will have a business in there. And I didn't know this either, Byron. I don't know if you've ever been in there, but I'm told by the marketing director for that company that it's really two buildings that were put together to make one. So they're going to occupy the front part of the building for their business, and then the second part they're going to lease it out. So if you're wanting to lease a spot or some space, you may want to reach out to McNeil Technologies. You can find them on the internet and ask for. I think her name is Carol Rosacco. Yeah,
Okay.
Carol
Well,
Rosacco. That's
well, that's cool. That's cool.
yeah.
I mean, I hated to see, um, Vanity Fair close. My mom used to go and get those deals. Hit the outlet and stuff. So it's good to see it come back and get.
Yeah, I
You know,
shop there too. So
yeah.
hopefully, even though they're going to be occupying the front part, the second part, like they said, they can lease it out and have more retail, stores to come in. So that would be awesome. So kudos for the city of Graceville and for McNeil Technologies taking the investment in the city of Graceville.
Mm.
And then last thing I want to talk about is the gas tax. I did mention that last week there was a proposal of the gas tax being increased from 6 cents to 11 cents, so a 5 cents difference. But they voted on Tuesday night, the county commissioners in Jackson County, to not increase it. So the vote was like 3-2, and you got to have a supermajority vote, and that didn't happen. You had Alex McKinney, Clint Pate, and Paul Donofrio, they were for the increase, and then you had Jim Peacock and Eric Hill against it. So that died, and the purpose of that was to help pay for the pavement of roads. That's why they wanted to generate revenue. And I'm told that if they would have passed it, if it would have gone from 6 cents to 11 cents per gallon, it would have generated like $1.2 million, per year. to help pave roads. So now they got to think of something else.
Yeah, yeah, they're definitely gonna. I mean, hey, I'm not big on taxing folks already when we already have a, not really a good living wage around here in the first place. Creating jobs and things of that such is it should be number one on the list. Got to get some innovative people in there with creative minds to do something other than taxes. I know Avalorem, and I understood. I think it was Mr. Donafro, where he made
Mhm.
the point about how Avalorem tax would add on to only a set amount of people, but yeah, that's kind of tricky with that because even if somebody that's renting um, and not a homeowner, their rent's going to go up because a homeowner's not going to pay added. They're going to just raise the rent prices because they got to pay more in the taxes.
So they
And
will
then
pay some point.
yeah,
Yeah,
so everybody ends up paying more into it. And then when you're talking about gas, well, shoot, it really don't work for people that live this close to the state line. So even somebody like me, I
go
might
to,
put
go to state
five,
line. Huh?
$5 enough to get me to that state line. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know,
Yeah,
there's ways. There's definitely ways to not add on taxes. Not here's the thing: people don't have a problem with paying higher taxes if they're making you know better than a living wage. You know what I'm saying? And people are voting, but they're voting with their feet. We see
yeah,
what that census is telling us. Younger folks are leaving.
that's true.
Um,
True.
so
There's nothing
I
here to.
dig- I digress as far as that. We tried. We tried.
We tried, Byron,
You
but
know what I'm
we,
saying?
we were not, successful in getting in. So, but that's okay. But
Yeah,
we did try.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but I always say representation is the key in any city,
Mm.
especially here in the rural area, and that's what we were trying to accomplish: getting representation, so that if there are any issues or if there needs to be a voice from certain pockets of the community that's has not been heard, we could have been their voice. However,
I'm glad you said that because another key point is access to information. Uh,
exactly,
Access to information is power. So
right,
somebody can tell you one thing, but if you
right,
actually know the process and know how something happens, it might be something as simple as a click of a button to send of an email, but
right,
they'll tell you one thing
right,
and definitely tell you 1,000 reasons why something can't be done. But
right.
we know just as me and you, we know just as well as anybody. If somebody wants something to happen, they can make it happen.
We can make
So
it happen.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's right. But like I said, we tried. But we have another platform that we can still continue to get information and educate people on different scenarios and situations.
That's what we're here for. So hey, y'all out there while y'all watching, make sure y'all let people know. Hey, we this is our own, digital platform locally, ran and it's our topics. It's about us. This is
That's
you're
right.
not gonna get this from anybody else. So,
Not.
yeah, get on board. Yeah, yeah.
Well, you know what? Our local, I want to make sure I mention Brightway Insurance. Our local and state news is brought to you by Brightway Insurance. They provide property insurance, vehicle, as well as business and life insurance. And they're owned by Tavares Horn. So make sure you give him a call at 850-633-3460. That's Tavares PD Horn. And they're located on Caledonia Street, 2867 Caledonia Street in Mariana.
And
What do you
shouts
have for
out.
national?
So, for national news, before I begin, People's Funeral Home, because we care, we are here when you need us. Long Granbury Funeral Services Incorporated, doing business as People's Funeral Home. Mariana and Battle Mortuary, Panama City offers service that is within the reach of all. Our caring staff is available 24/7 when the need arises. Our services are designed to commemorate the life being remembered at a price suitable for all. Give Cephas and Gwen a call at 850-482-2233 or stop by for more information. So, I want to open up by talking about Dylan Roof, the mass killer that peeled his death sentence on the grounds that his victims were presented in a sympathetic light in court. So he's trying to use the fact that the victims and the victim parents and the family members forgave him, and I believe that was that arraignment. And he's trying to use that as an excuse to get off the death sentence because he's been given a death sentence. I believe he was sentenced to death in 2017 for the murder of those 9 black worshipers at the Mother Emanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina. So now he's trying to, his trying to flip it and use that in his excuse. So I don't think that's gonna work. You can't use people's grace and mercy
Right.
to get yourself off of the loop for something that you were very conscious about what you're doing. I believe
Right.
he made the statement that he hoped that his rampage would spark a race war, you know. So hey,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
If
shame.
that's his mentality, he didn't learn anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, nice try, but no, you didn't succeed. So deal with the punishment accordingly, you know. Uh,
It's been that long, man. I remember when that happened.
Yeah, it's the same thing with 9/11. Don't seem like that was 20 years ago, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
Do you remember where you were when 9/11 happened?
Yeah, yeah, I'll never forget. I was I when I graduated boot camp. So when you graduate, I don't know if they do it still like this today. When you graduate Marine Corps boot camp, you come home for 2 weeks and then you go to combat training. But if you're gonna go into infantry, you'll have a longer school. So I was in combat training when 9/11 happened. I missed the whole excuse me. I missed the whole everything happened. So when we got back, they played the video, they played the footage, and it was like a movie. It was like I did this to go to school. I didn't know what I was signing up for, but then it got real. It was like, hey, if I'm gonna die for something, it's gonna be this. So
Wow.
I remember we had a formation right after that, and guys was kind of joking around like it was nothing. And in a platoon in platoons in combat training, you have a guide. The guy, he's the guy that carries around the flag. He's the leader. He runs everything, and you got squad leaders. And I wasn't even a squad leader at the time. I was just there, and guys just talking around. I got mad, so I just got out, stood in front of the formation, and I went off. I was like, if any time it was to get serious, we're at war. We just been attacked. And I went to cussing and fussing, and I think I said the statement of, if anybody got some a problem with what I said, take 2 steps out this formation. And my platoon sergeant, he came out of nowhere, and he took the guide on from the current guy, and he
Gave
said, Dickens, if you can keep it, daggone it, you can have it. And from then on, I ran the show. And
Wow.
yeah, we got the tank school, and I got a meritorious mass meritorious promotion. And they were like, we heard about you, and they gave me the crappiest squad. I had like a bunch of just bad cats, and that's been my career. Everywhere I go, I get like I don't get the creme de la creme of soldiers. I always get the kids that need a lot of work. So that's my experience. But yeah, I'll never forget when I saw
But you were
the
watching it
footage.
like when it happened, or you saw the
Yeah,
footage?
like it was a week after. So
Oh, okay.
all what happened when we were out, we were doing land there, we were out in the field, and we was and trucks would come and grab people that were either from New York, Pennsylvania,
Oh,
um, and
so
DC.
y'all didn't see it till a week
Yeah,
later?
and see it till a week later. We didn't know nothing, and we thought maybe those guys had got a golden ticket and it was out. It was like, oh man, they get the chance to get up out of here. And a week later, they showed the footage, took us in the hangar, and we saw everything, and they let us know, hey,
Wait,
get
wait, wait,
ready.
wait. So you're saying when they were taking some of the guys away from where you were, you thought they were just kind of going, you didn't know they were going to war?
Yeah, yeah. We thought no, we thought they were just getting out of because they threw us out in the field. You get these grid coordinates, you figure out your pace count, and they say, all right, see you later, and you on your own. And
Wait, Byron. You got to bring us back to layman's term. You
yeah,
because
okay, I'm sorry, I'm
you
sorry. So when you when
you
you're
got to tell.
doing land navigation,
Okay,
they teach you how to find your way with a compass and a map.
okay.
So we get grid coordinates, and you have to find these particular points, and you're literally out in the middle of the woods. And we had a whole day. We had these, everybody had different points that they had to find, and you get tagged with one person, And if y'all didn't pay attention in class, then that meant you was just gonna be lost all day. So
Oh,
we would notice they would come and pick up some guys. So we
oh,
yeah, we start rumoring. We're like, hey, why they, and they just looking for people
so they
from New
didn't
York.
tell you guys what was happening. They just
Yeah,
came and kept certain guys, you know.
yep.
Okay, wow.
So
That's interesting.
we just thinking, man, they just got a golden ticket. They just,
But just
get,
out of there, going somewhere.
yeah, they don't get to stay in the field. So, but yeah, I guess they was confirming if they had family members or something like that, and yeah, and then like a week later, we get,
Yeah.
the whole shebang. Yeah.
I remember I actually was living in Los Angeles at the time, and my mother called me, and of course, LA is 2 hours behind
Mm.
Florida, so it was pretty early when she called me, and I hadn't, I think, gotten up yet. But anyway, I remember her calling, and she was like, "Ross, the planes just went into World Trade Center." I was like, "What?" And I'm like, groggy, like, "What?" So she said, "Turn on the TV, turn on the TV." So I turn it on, and that's when I saw the first one had already occurred.
Mm.
And then, well, we was watching that one, and then I guess a few minutes later, that's when I must have turned away or something. And
Mm.
she's like, "Another one just hit." And I was like, "What?" And that's when it was kind of like something is, devastating is going on. And
Yeah.
from that moment on, it was just a solemn time, for the country. Um, Yesterday, I saw Robin Roberts did like like a story on it. She went back and talked to some of the people that really that was there actually that survived. One of the ladies that was actually supposed to be working for the fire department in the truck that day, and she switched with her another guy.
Mm.
So she was supposed to be in the truck, and he was supposed to be, at the station. And he came in and said, "Hey, let's swap." And they did, and I think he didn't make it. He was one of the ones that went to
Mm.
do to first responders, and they talked to her, talked to several other people, and it's just something how people were still traumatized by that experience, and it's just something that you probably will never get over, especially if you were right there or on the grounds or you saw it, because people were actually outside, you know, that actually literally saw it go in.
Mm.
But it's just a devastating time. So, but I
Yeah.
can't believe either. It's been 20 years. Yeah. 20 years for
Yeah.
9/11.
Yeah.
And we'll be celebrating on tomorrow, 20
Yep.
years.
Yep. Yep.
Commemorating, I should say, the lives that were lost during that time.
Yep.
But we all
Well,
celebrate because the country came together. So it is a celebration because that was one of the first times that, political parties came together. Bush was president at the time, and we thought he did a great job, overall, handling that situation.
yeah.
And
Yeah, and we're at that time now where we're transitioning from, the sad part about it and and now celebrating those lives, celebrating
yeah.
those
Hmm.
great men and women and children that were beautiful, people and had beautiful experiences, and um, we've got to figure out a way to bring some type of light out of this. And I mean, that was the moment for me though. To be honest with you, and I don't know, a lot of people may not be honest about it that signed up to join the military and stuff, but I didn't have a real true to grit, purpose of why I was there. But that moment,
That
that
gave
wo-
you the
that made everything click in, and from that point on, training was real. What I was doing was real. And you
you had
know,
a purpose. You
oh
saw
yeah, oh yeah. If
bottom
I was
line
going,
is you had a purpose. Yeah.
if I was gonna die, I was gonna die for that. But
Yeah.
yeah, let's. So I get on to the next topic. Calling code red on climate. President Biden pushes for infrastructure plans. So I don't know if everybody knows or where, but the president is pushing for a real enormous infrastructure bill, and now it seems he's tying in the effects of Hurricane Ida because it really devastated the East Coast, especially New York, New Jersey. Not to mention what happened down in New Orleans and down in the Gulf Coast area. So now he's tying more into it to build some steam in it, and excuse me. Hopefully, it looks like it's pretty bipartisan. It looks like both Democrat and Republicans seem to want this thing to happen. Doesn't seem like it's too much pushback. Uh,
Oh,
the
good.
Yeah, the president was quoted saying, "They all tell us this code red." So he's using that terminology to kind of tie it in. So hopefully, hopefully it's a good thing and it comes through because there's a lot of stuff in there like um, getting more help towards the COVID um, assistance when it comes to the hospitals and nurses.
Mhm.
Definitely with getting roads and bridges, so it wouldn't be that whole pipeline was wide open for from the federal government to help these local areas as well. So um, I,
That's good. Did he give a timeline of when they think it's gonna be, it's come to fruition, like when they can come together and get it done?
I don't have that info. I believe I don't believe it hit the house yet. So obviously it's got to go through them. I think it'll go through the house. The biggest uh, part obviously would be when it hits the Senate. So,
Oh yeah.
but there's not, like I said, there's not many senators that's looking, on the other side of the aisle that's, you know, not looking like they'll oppose it. Um,
Okay. Well, good. That's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
But I
So
will
my
break that down because some people don't may not understand how a bill is passed. Break that down
Yeah,
because
so
some of you.
to keep it simple, to go back on the schoolhouse rock days, you know what I'm saying? Uh, first a bill goes through the House, then with that big number 435 House reps, and once it goes through the House, goes to the Senate. If the Senate passes it, then it goes on the president's desk, and then if the president doesn't veto, the bill's passed. Um, but a lot of times when you have a majority, like the House has a majority Democrat, Senate is still kind of is I believe it's majority Democrat, but it's still you can't get bills passed without
That is edge. Yeah.
yeah. Because I think I know the whole campaign with uh,
Warnock.
Warnock and
Warnock.
yeah, and
That was
that
name.
was one thing because it had me confused. I was like, well, I thought Democrats had the Senate too, but Republicans showed you, nah, you ain't got you ain't got it just yet. So yeah, to keep it simple, not but definitely go. Y'all need to reach back to those old schoolhouse rock days, and dig into that because a local matters. Definitely know how the national works and how bills pass as well. But definitely get in, y'all. We got to get back in the game with these local elections and know how these state laws are passed. Um, because a lot of bills are getting pushed, and right now, the Republicans is holding it down as far as the state of Florida. Then you got the same breakdown with the state as well as you just like you do in the U.S. Senate and the House. You got a House and you got a Senate in the state. So it works in the same fashion, and
Right.
the governor operates in the same capacity as the president. So, you know, it's big news.
Right.
Yeah.
But people don't understand that. That's why, again, we're going to go back to what we said earlier. When you're trying to get a bill passed, or when you're trying to get, even something done on the local level, like in our county,
Mm-hmm.
you want to have people representing your thoughts, your views. So whenever things happen, that will transpire when the vote is cast.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we miss out on is not having people in those positions that's able to cast a vote that reflect what the community feels as a whole. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a missing piece, unfortunately, but at some point, I think you know, hopefully it'll change.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Last on my national news is former Georgia District Attorney booked on charges of obstruction in the Ahmaud Arbery case. So the former district attorney has been booked on charges linked to her alleged mishandling of the case of Ahmaud Arbery. Ex Glenn County District Attorney Jackie Johnson is her name. Turned herself in to Glenn County Sheriff's Office Wednesday morning, reports from the Atlanta Journal after the grand jury returned an indictment on counts of obstruction and violation. So I believe they were. It was kind of a conflict of interest. She had a past relationship with the gentleman, and she didn't want to prosecute. And this is where the whole stir of events kind of began. In a normal
Oh, she had a
situation,
relationship with the guy that did the
yeah,
shooting.
yeah, not like
Oh
a romantic
no,
relationship,
I'm
but
saying that she
they were
knew him,
friends.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
they were, yeah,
Oh,
and
that's why they were circulating that picture. Wasn't that
mhm.
one time they were circulating the picture with the two of them?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. And then and so now this has come to light, and charges being brought up on her as well. So let's try to keep an eye on that case and keep us updated. Once again, this segment was brought to you by People's Funeral Home. Because we care, we are here when you need us. Long Granbury Funeral Mortuaries, Incorporated, doing business as People's Funeral Home, Mariana and Battle Mortuary, Panama City, offers services that is within the reach of all. Our caring staff is available 24/7 when your need arises. Our services are designed to commemorate the life being remembered at a price suitable for all. Give Cephas and Gwen a call at 850-482-2233 or simply stop by and give them a call. People's Funeral Home. All
All
right.
right. What we got for entertainment, Byron?
All right, so I'm getting to a subject that's very near and dear to my daddy. Shouts out to Frank Dickens.
Okay.
Tom Selleck controversy takes over Twitter. All right, so Tom Selleck made a post that wasn't intended to be the way it ended up going. He made a post. It was like a chain of events. He made a post and basically saying, thanking Jesus Christ for his successes. And somebody started with one post comment, and somebody put, you remember the old WWJD, what would Jesus do?
Yeah.
Yeah, so somebody posted, what would Jesus do? Certainly not scam elderly folks out of their mortgage money. So with the commercial ads that he
Ooh.
got with the whole, he starts with, it's not a second mortgage. And every time that commercial come on, my dad is
Oh,
like, yes, it is. Yeah, I can't believe you, Tom
the
Selleck.
reverse mortgage thing.
Yeah, the reverse mortgage.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So, and I didn't realize so many people felt the same way because I was like, yeah, Tom Selleck, this Magnum PI, Commissioner Reagan, Blue Bloods, that's my guy. He doing the
Okay.
whole reverse mortgage thing. So yeah, people lit him up on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, it got ugly. So I guess somebody was just waiting on him to post something, and then boom, it
It
took
lit
off.
into them. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so in other news, it was a suspected drug overdose after Michael K. Williams was found dead with an apparent heroin overdose on a kitchen table. So I don't know if many people follow the show The Wire. That's where he kind of got his start. As Omar, that was one of my favorite characters. And then he's played in other movies, even the Ghostbusters film, the remake. And it hit, a lot. It hit the entertainment industry very hard. The drug fentanyl became a top trending topic on social media about it. And after he was found dead in his apartment, a lot of people have worked to try to determine, what was the actual cause of death. So I think, at this point, the investigation still is going on, and they're looking like they're suspecting some type of foul plays. They're trying to find the actual drug dealer. So
Wow.
I hope, I'm sad to the family, and my condolences. And man, I hate to see these great black actors, go like that. It's like all the greats. It's always something that take them away from us early.
That's
Um,
sad. I said when I heard about that. Yeah.
yeah,
Very sad.
yeah, yeah. So, and my other story I wanted to cover was the Jeopardy. Jeopardy fans like myself, I'm, reading Rainbow. LeVar Burton, that's my guy. I'm not a real Trekkie, but he was like one of the reasons I would watch Star Trek. It always put me to sleep. I couldn't watch Star Trek about 10 minutes and I'm gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dude, but the deal was, apparently the producers never intended. He was never a first pick. Apparently it was. I hope I'm not murdering her name. Mayim Bialik. I know her as Blossom. A lot of people may
Blossom.
know her on Big
Blossom.
Bang show. So,
Did
but
she
yeah,
not want it?
I don't think that right now. I think they're still at it. It says in the story that it comes from TMZ. Says the studio Sony Pictures. They loved how well Burton read, but they said that Mayim was who they wanted. But I guess and former executive producer Mike Richards, they wanted him.
Well, yeah,
Um,
but he had baggage. I mean,
yeah,
he had the job for a week, and
yeah.
then he had baggage, so he kept
And
popping.
the thing is, it seems to be like people really want LeVar Burton, but it looks like he and I've seen some articles where it's saying like um, Ava DuVernay is trying to work a show where he would be
Oh,
the host
okay.
of.
She's the
Yeah,
writer of Queen Sugar. You know
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, I
So
like.
so if he don't get it in that gig, somebody gonna get my man LeVar Burton on something. So yeah, he wasn't the first pick.
Yeah, my husband is a Jeopardy fan, and
Mm.
he liked Aaron Rodgers. He thought he was out of everybody that auditioned. He thought he was the best. So I
Yeah,
don't know if you saw
the
Aaron.
football. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, really?
Yeah, he said he
Yeah,
was very good. He said he was better than LeBron. He thought.
yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
well, I figured he probably wouldn't do it because you know he's not close to retirement, so I don't know how he would pull that one off. But
But
maybe
he
I,
did it. He did very well.
yeah,
But like I said, I think the executive producer had himself in mind, which he did,
yep,
and he got the job. However, things kept popping up from his past, and then
yep,
he had to go. So,
yep. Talking about
yeah,
talk about set yourself up. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Yep,
Like, why would you, if you know you had the stuff in, I mean, that's life. Unfortunately, in Hollywood, your past tends to creep up and bite you in the butt. So, sorry.
yep, yep.
Uh,
What that is entertainment. Let's get to the good stuff.
Well, you know what? Let me mention To Go Eats. To Go Eats is locally owned. It is a restaurant delivering service servicing Mariana and Chipley. They deliver favorite restaurants right to your door or workplace. To Go Eats offer Walmart grocery pickup also in Mariana. To place your order, you can place your Walmart order or your restaurant order. You can download the To Go Eats app or go to togoeats.com. You will then be prompted to create an account. Once your account is created, choose a restaurant or Walmart delivery and place your order. If you need more information, you may call 334-352-3522. To Go Eats is locally owned. Remember that. And also remember tip the driver, okay? To Go Eats, make sure you use them when you don't want to go out. Get it yourself, they can bring it to you,
Best
okay?
part about living in the city.
That's right. It deliver right to your door.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna mention one more. Broadway Insurance again, TD Horn, located at 2867 Caledonia Street. Don't forget them. They provide your property insurance, vehicle, business, and life insurance. You can call them at 850-633-3460. Brightway Insurance is one of our sponsors, so be sure to tell them that you heard it here on Bottom Line with Ronnie and Byron. The number again is 850-633-3460, and they're open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, and appointment only on Saturdays. All right. Relationship T, what we got today?
All right, all right. Let's talk
Talk
about some
about
sibling rivalry.
sibling rivalry. Yes, we're just gonna talk about how do you get along with your siblings. Is there one that thinks they're the favorite? Is that There's a lot that surrounds sibling rivalries. It's one that think that they're favorite. It's the one that basically really steps up when it's
Mm,
time to take care of business.
mm,
And it's the one that really everybody goes to when something happens in the family. So, and all that creates a rivalry because even the one that don't have the personality to step up or the personality that the parents do depend on, you got the other ones kind of looking back like you think
yeah.
something. They come to you. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so like with mine, I really, and I tell them that all the time. I really don't have a favorite. All of them have that they're significant in their own way. Like I tell my oldest son, I'm like, look, you the one that changed my life, man. You know, I was reckless before I met your mama, and then when I knew I was having my firstborn, it was gonna be a boy, and I was like, man. Gotta make him a junior. And I was like, man, everything got serious. And then when I
Yeah.
found out I was having a set of twins, it was gonna be two girls. I mean, that was just like
Blow your
what?
mind.
Yeah. So I mean, it was like every last one of them, and they all got their thing. But I definitely, no doubt, I'll get on to a couple of them more than I get on others. You know,
Uh-huh.
so it'll be something get fussed out a lot. But I definitely know right now me and my wife know right now who we ain't gonna be leaving everything. We know who gonna make sure we took care of, and yeah, yeah.
That personality is already coming out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
already know if she leave before me, I know who gonna let me stay with them. They ain't gonna put me in no home. But buddy,
So let's so talk about your siblings. Let's talk about how,
yeah. So
you got your own personality.
all of my siblings, we say half, but we consider ourselves, whole. But we didn't grow up in the same house together and things like that. But we always, connected. My youngest sister, we grew up, but I'm like 9 years older than her. So my relationship, I really feel, even though I'm a big brother, I almost feel like I'm like an extension of a uncle or something, because I changed her, and we, always, had a back. Now, I used to mess with her sometimes. She'd be looking at TV and just thump her in the head or something like that. But
Me,
yeah,
brother.
yeah, just near, I ain't see you, and just hit her in the head or something. But yeah, but we never had we never had no rivalry. My older sister, I remember being when I was little and always trying to get in a fight with somebody, and she'll come out of nowhere, y'all leave my brother alone, and she gets so emotional, start crying, and I'm like, all right, y'all leave me alone. I was just gonna, I was just gonna hit him one time. I wasn't gonna really fight, but hey, and then my
But
oldest brother, he shoot, my oldest brother is what, I'm 38. Yeah, he's got me about almost 20 years. No,
so
little,
you
little,
really
long,
didn't have that. Okay, you
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
have that. Okay,
nah,
that close in age
yeah.
where you can really see that.
Well, I mean,
Some
like
of
my oldest sister, she's a year older than me, and then my youngest sister is like 9 years younger than me. But like I said, we never had that whole,
okay.
rivalry thing. We have our own experiences, especially with my dad. So we all just kind of,
Hmm.
use the fact that we, siblings, and we jailed on that, and it's we got a real good relationship going.
That's that's
Um,
good.
yeah. So I mean, it flows. But now, I've seen others. Shoot, my,
Yeah, I will say I've seen it too, and I can see it in my own family. I think when you have siblings that are, maybe close in age, or, I mean, my sister and I are 4 years apart, but when you have different personalities, um, and then especially when it comes to the baby, I'm technically, I'm my mom's oldest. Um, I have an older sister, but my dad, but my mom just has us two. And so when you deal with a younger sibling, there is something there. There is something because you got that baby, that they were baby, more so than probably the older kid.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And
there's something there. It
it seems
is
like
there.
it seems like they never outgrow that baby though. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. It
They
is
be
there.
70,
So,
70 years old and
and you
still
still
think they
acting
the
like the
baby.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So you got two perspectives. You got this perspective from the oldest kid, me, that's, looking like, okay, you need to grow out of that. But then you got, the perspective from, their shoes, a younger kid, like, okay, you can't always continue to try to tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it is there. No
Yeah,
matter how old you get, I mean,
yeah,
it's true. I mean, for me, I know I see it. Me and my sister it is there, but we get along great. We're
yeah.
fine. However, it's there. That's the truth. It is
And
there.
and
You should
and
probably watch it.
that's what I try to I get so caught up in not wanting my kids to carry on something petty at age 6, 7, 8 and be 50 years old
And
still.
still being petty. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, and it could be something, Dad, I love you more than love me, or you.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Yeah.
no, no, don't put that on me. That's some mess y'all got going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't want them to get caught. I get they're gonna fuss and bicker or whatever, but I always try to instill in them that, hey, y'all got to be tight as a unit. No matter what. establish your rules right now. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy because when we talked about relationships in the past, you know, with say your significant other, it's like you spend your whole lifetime learning your siblings. You know what when they're mad, you know what makes them sad. You know before you even say a certain word or phrase, you know they already gonna get ticked,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still
Do
work to maintain that relationship. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when you get with somebody and you say you're gonna marry them, and you assume that you just on day one, you don't even notice, but you didn't even grow up with them. So it was work enough just to get to know your siblings when you grow, your cousins and stuff like that. It's a lot, you know.
it.
Um,
Even growing
and,
up in the
and
same household. I
yeah,
mean,
and you have to be aware. You have to be cautious of what you when you have your little arguments, you have your little fights. You got to always be able to take a step back and say, all right, look, you know, I apologize for going off or something because you never know what somebody hold, you know, into something for years. And they'll hold it against you, and you never know. Like,
happens.
I mean, I had people, you know, from school never thought they felt a certain way, and then you know 20 years later you like they drop a whole bomb on you. You know, you thought you were what? You know, where
You
you get
didn't.
that?
You didn't even
Yeah,
know it. You
where
didn't
you
know
get
it.
that from? Yeah.
I
So
understand that. What? So, Byron, let's say. So, if you have, do you think when you have a small, like, say, for instance, you have two kids in the household,
mm,
as opposed to, five or seven,
mm.
do you think that those two will have more of a rivalry, or do you think, it's the bigger group of siblings? What do you think?
I definitely say from my perspective, it'd be a heck of a lot easier because when somebody do something, they tear up something. Oh, don't nobody know what happened, and then I got to play, you know, super detective
So
to
you
figure
think
out
is
who.
is more so is
Yeah.
the rivalries between the smaller group or the larger group?
I think definitely with the smaller group, I know what we were worried about with Byron when he was two and a half when the girls were born, and we were worried that he was gonna regress back into like baby stage,
Because
you
he
know,
wanted to be the
because
baby.
yeah,
He
because
wanted the attention. Where's the attention?
he was the guy, you know, he was the show. Everything was about him. So, but he turned into a big brother, which was cool. And you know, I had that first year, you know, I wasn't around. I was on a deployment, so he got tight with my daddy, so that was cool. But it definitely when you just got two, I think they're more closer than when you got more of them. They kind of click up, you know. So like
That's I've seen that.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
know what I'm saying. So it'll be like the two that's in the closer age range. They're a little tighter
yeah.
than the other older ones or the younger ones or something like that. So that's kind of like with the girls, even though they're twins, and they're polar opposites, but they're tighter than and then like the younger twins, they tighter. But
Yeah,
they
yeah.
both gravitate like my son Bryson. He'll gravitate to his big brother, and Ari she'll gravitate to the girls, trying to keep up and mimic and be like them. But Bryson and R are like this, you know. You let any one of them do something that the other one that don't like, they come and have each other back. So they definitely tight, you know. So yeah.
Well, what I noticed too. You see, true relationships, like the dynamics of siblings relationship, comes out
Mm.
when a parent dies.
Yeah. Yeah. You
You
really
see the truth come out. You see, who's feeling some type of way about, a sibling. Well, you always thought you was a favorite anyway,
do.
or you
Mm-hmm.
always try to tell her what to do anyway, or you want this, you really, I don't know if you've seen that, but you
Yeah.
really see that the dynamics of sister, brother, sibling relationships when somebody, like a parent, passes on
Yeah.
and all the ugliness comes out. They're who trying to plan everything, who's trying to take over. It's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's when you see, and then some families are able to weather through it and go through it smoothly. But
Yeah.
I've seen some that, man, they just cut the food.
Yeah, and I attribute that to communication, man. I try to with my kids, I try to have a little moments where we just sit down and say, all right, you know, who's mad at who? Let's get it all out. You know, don't bottle that stuff in because that's been my experience. If I don't like something, I learned to say it then. Don't hold it because then out of nowhere you might
Let it
sneeze.
carry over.
And yeah, you might sneeze, and I just start going off on you with 1,000 things. So, whoa, 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 if I don't
Okay, no,
like something, say that. Hey, if you call me, oh, he's a butthole, you call whatever. But I got that stress off of my mind, and I put it on you now. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I try to have moments where I say, all right, let's what y'all mad about? All right, get it out, so that they learn how to have a healthy communication between each other, not blowing up and arguing, but saying at that moment, I didn't like this, I didn't like that,
that's
and
good.
it's a work in progress. It's like an experiment. We'll see if it works, but try to get that moment where you just sit them down and say, all right, even though as adults we kind of like, I don't even know why I'm listening to these little kids argue about something stupid as
But it's
a
important
toy.
to them, though. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. So you have to
doing
get
that
them
at an
to,
early
yeah,
age, so they're not growing up with,
yeah.
with
Cause
those
see,
hidden feelings. I think that's what it comes down to. You said communication, but it comes down to also, Byron, that there was something planted, years ago, and it wasn't dealt with, and so
yep,
it just, you know, manifests and
yep,
grow and grow and grow, and when something happens, it comes out. You're like, whoa, I didn't know you felt that way.
yeah,
Like, hold on, I didn't know you felt that way about me. Yeah, you
yeah.
think you all that, you think you doing this, you trying to tell us what to do. When I was 5 years old, you're like, five, I don't remember that.
Yep. They pulled
Exactly,
that out.
that
Yep.
stuff comes out. But but you're right. I didn't learn that. And I'm still trying to learn it. I
Mm,
mess up, but you're right to teach them at an early age to deal with issues
mm,
amongst themselves.
mm.
So it doesn't fester to when they get teenager and adults and they have some type of feelings, hidden feelings about each other. So
Yeah, yeah.
you do that at
Yeah,
a
and and I don't want them to be doing stuff like not speaking to each other for
yeah.
3 4 months. You know what I'm saying, over nothing. You got somebody's got to always be the one to say, hey, let's sit down, let's talk, let's get it out.
Like, my bad. Yeah, if I
Yeah,
did
cause
something, my apologies. Yeah.
yeah, and what I tell them, I say y'all can get mad with each other all you want to, but the one thing about y'all, you gonna have to deal with each other at some point, even if you're grown.
Mm,
It's gonna be Thanksgiving dinner. You gonna have to see them again.
right.
You know what I'm saying? You want to go to somebody's birthday party, gonna have to see them because you gonna come. You gonna
Right.
see mama. You gonna see daddy. So you gonna see each other.
But
Um,
I've seen situations where unfortunately, siblings will stay apart. Like, they won't
mm,
come to family gatherings because the sibling is there that they're upset with. I'm
mm,
like, that's sad.
mm,
I've never been in that situation, thank God, but it is sad that you just say, well, I don't want to. And I understand being upset with the sibling. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. I understand taking a break. I get that,
mm, mm,
but I don't think you should be going years without some type of communication.
mm.
With not just siblings. I'm going to venture off now. It's just family. Period. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm a family person, so I just think that's just kind of something that it's not like it was back in the day. I'll speak that because it looked like back in the day families were closer, siblings were closer. And we're talking about big families. Like, you're talking
yeah,
about 10 kids in one household,
yeah.
and they were all close. I mean, no matter what issues were going on, no matter who had what issue, they still looked out for that one person. If somebody got in
Mm,
trouble, they may have told them behind closed door, yeah, you was wrong, you did this, X, Y, and Z. But
mm,
out front, we're still a close family. We still
mm,
look out for whoever. I don't care if you go to jail, whatever. We're still going to
mm.
be there for you. We'll be in your courtroom. We're there.
Yep.
You don't see that a lot in these days, unfortunately.
You're right. You're right. I always have to, especially like with my like I've got cousins that I'm like my fourth, third cousin. You'll swear we were sister and brother how we act and interact with each other because of that. I got 12 uncles and aunts. On my dad's side. Well, I have even more than that. But yeah,
Wow.
I
Yeah.
mean, and it's like no matter where I go, whether I'm going down South Florida, where I'm going North Carolina, don't matter where I go, I got like close family, and to get mad if I go and don't call or go see somebody, and I'm like, a lot of times I got 5 kids. I don't, I'm just, they don't want to hear
You're
that.
busy.
Yeah, they don't want to hear that. You better go see them, better call. So I'm in trouble, hot water right now. I took my kids to Legoland, and my auntie like, you ain't come by and see me. I'm like, oh man, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, it's you're right. It's how they were raised, and it's like
Different.
yeah, it's different, you know, and I know, like I said, as generations go, we all want what we didn't have, but sometimes we could kind of overdo it, you know,
Mm,
and then we can bring in our past stuff like we were saying about siblings being mad at each other and cutting each other off. Now
mm.
you got your kids that got first cousins that they don't even know, you know,
Right.
and their relationship ain't got nothing to do with you and your brother or sister why y'all mad at each other. But now you got family out there that they don't even know. Prime example, I'll say this and that'll be it. My two of my little cousins, they were at a football camp for the University of Miami, and both are doing big things, and just that I don't just that innateness of I don't know, something just hit them where they were like, hey, where you from? Who are you? And didn't even know who each other was, and find out they second cousins. You know,
Wow.
it's
Wow.
crazy. They one called the other mama, the other called the other dad, and like, hey, yeah, we didn't know, both of them was down there together, or they would have, known and introduced each other, but they just clicked up, and then next thing you know, boom,
They were related.
they find out they second cousins down there in the same football camp.
That's
So
pretty.
it's important. I'm big on family. I'm real big on family and family history. So you got to know your people because it really is a small world.
It is. It really is. It really is. So,
Yeah,
all right, Byron. Well, the bottom line is try to do what you can to have a great relationship with
yeah.
your sibling. And if there are issues, try to
Squash it,
work, squash the
squash
work,
it. Yeah, squash it.
try to work it out. Try to work it out. All
Yeah.
right, Byron. I think we're at the end of the show today. It was a great show. I think we covered pretty much everything. You got anything else?
Hey, I feel good. I would tell people, hey, make sure you go to Amazon.com and get your copy of Mayday and Me, Emancipation Day. It's celebrating Florida's Emancipation Day. Also, go to www.520foreverfree.com to get you some real cool apparel. And also, you got to stay in shape, y'all. You got to stay in shape and get up with my good friend Ronnie, and she'll let you know how you can get that good PT going on, get a nice good sweat. Let
That's
them know.
right. Call me. Call me at 323-240-0522. I am doing virtual workouts and they're just as great. So you can get to work that on in the comfort of your own home. So do that. Also, I got some preserves, some pear preserves for sale. I don't have any of those muscadine bullets anymore, but I do still have the pear preserves. So please call me for that. You want to eat well, so get some eat well items. Okay. Again, 323-240-0522. That will be for Total Body by Ronnie. All
Hey, if
right.
you if you if you got some of them preserves and some Splendor, hey, I'll be the first one to get me a batch of
Oh,
those,
yeah.
man.
I'll do some preserve. You can get some. They're very
All right,
good. Just add anything to it because they're already sweet. Very sweet. So,
sweet,
all
sweet.
right, Byron, let me just wrap up here. Tune in next week for us, 12 o'clock. Again, Facebook Live, Bottom Line with Ronnie and Byron at 12 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And remember, when you know the truth, you can speak the truth. And the light shines brighter when it shines for two. Have a good evening.
Peace.